the same.
Hello world, this is Americana. I'm your host, Willie Montague.
And I'm your host, Shakea Hinton.
All right, you already know what we do right here. That's not tiptoe around the truth. We tackle it. So this show is not for the faint of heart. It's for those unafraid to think, question, and lead. So buckle up your seatbelt. You get ready to go on for a ride. This is Americana. Episode indeed. The cost of corruption. Democrats link inflation to elite power. And then human rights and humanity in America. Trump versus Greene. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene, by the way. Who is the real MAGA? And then Charlie Kirk's death and legacy. So without further ado, let's get into this corruption going on in the Democrats' world. There is a new strategy that the Democrats are using, and it is about the rising cost of living directly to elites and corruption in Washington, branding it as the cost of corruption.
Dun, dun, dun.
This your people.
These my people.
These your people. Tell us about your people and why they think that now we are in corruption. Why?
Well, I will turn this around to you, Will. Willie, who do you think influences inflation? Let's start there.
I think inflation is influenced by consumers often too.
Okay.
Not just from the federal government.
Okay.
But I would say that before we had President Trump in office, we had Obama. Then we came back and we had Sleepy Joe Biden. And no one had a problem with seeing the decline of our economy, especially during the COVID age. So I would flip that back and say, why all of a sudden now is it corruption? From the elite, when you got some of the what's the name of those people? The aides, the senator aides up there, Democrat senator aides up there having sex on the floor.
We're not going to talk about sex today. You and this fetish, you and your party, y'all love making everything sexual. Not doing that today.
That's corruption.
So I'll answer your question by saying inflation is influenced by 4 different parts, right? It's influenced by the Federal Reserve, policy, big corporations, and greedy billionaires. So who's currently running the United States right now?
We have a big greedy billionaire, which goes by the name of
Elon Musk, Donald Trump, yes.
Not Elon Musk.
Who else?
Oh, no, you asked me the question.
Who else?
No. I don't know why I cannot. George Soros.
Okay.
So you don't think
Why are y'all obsessed with this?
We're not obsessed, but
you are.
He is one of the most corrupt individuals there is, and he is not a Republican.
Okay, so why do you feel that people believe, the everyday American people feel that inflation has increased? I'll tell you. Every year, a good company, would increase the salary of their employees because of COLA, right? The rise, the increasing cost of living, right? So it's not just because Trump is in office the cost of living has gone up each year. I remember when a full set was $20 for girls, for the ladies, right? You get your nails done, it was $20. Now a full set is like $45, $50 for a good little manicure. So it's things that it may be small to you, but inflation is happening. It has happened since the beginning of time. Each year things increase because things cost more. But right now, policies are influencing the rising cost of living.
But let's talk about the first thing you said.
Sure.
This is what has happened throughout all of the time of the duration, I guess you'd say it, or
of our country.
The new age of our country.
Sure.
So if that's the case, then why is the Democrats now framing it as a sense of corruption if they have also been in charge of this country at one point or another, and it was never called corruption then?
Because, have you ever heard the metaphor when you stab somebody in the back, you just twist the knife even more? I feel like that's what the Republicans are doing right now. Y'all are just twisting the knife slowly but surely.
You think we're twisting the knife?
Absolutely. I say that, Will, because you have people in power right now who are insulated by the cost of living. They are not fazed by the cost of gas or the cost of eggs or the rising of rents. Everyday Americans are trying to figure out if they're going to put food on their table, or if it's health care, or if it's child care, or if it's housing. Like, they have worries that most billionaires do not have. Why? Because they're insulated.
I'll tell you like this, and we're getting ready to move on to the next topic. I'll tell you like this. I think that a lot of those people that's concerned about this, if they stop going out and buying...
Don't start your foolishness right now, Will. We're doing good.
If they start going out buying rims, golds in their mouths, and stuff that they don't need, we'll be able to sustain.
But why does your mind immediately go there?
Because that's exactly what it is. We have people in these communities...
Who has hurt you, Will, to make you feel that people who buy those types of things are automatically poor in mind, poor in spirit, and poor in pocket?
And speaking of that, because this is a good segue into human rights and humanity in America, because they definitely have some kind of mindset that is poverty-ridden, if that's what you going out there and complaining about, but you're not talking about that when you at home and you got all these things that you know you couldn't afford to begin with. So why is there a debate over human rights and humanity in America?
It's a debate because Americans, it's said in our Constitution that we are due to fair housing, right? To be equal, to be seen as equal, to be treated as equal and fairly. But you have immigrants who come into this country who do and follow the due process of becoming legal citizens and are still being removed and torn apart from their families. You have brown and black folks, you know I advocate for them since you don't. You have black and brown marginalized communities who want fair representation, but are not even given the due process and the dignity to be seen as human. Shakea, do you not agree with that?
Shakea, as a person who is a human.
You are human.
And a person who is an American.
And
as a person who is black.
Thank you.
Aborigine.
Here you go.
I want it to be very clear that the Constitution does allow for these things, but it does not call for us to have to give a certain particular group of individuals their own segue to think that we have to fall in line with some particular groups. Just like we can name, you talk about black and brown, sure, there are issues that we can talk about human rights. That's been there. Civil rights leaders, we fought for it. I'm black, I've seen it myself.
And those are now being repealed. Yeah, they are.
Let me say this. I want to ask.
Are they not, Will?
But do you feel endangered? Because I always like to ask this question. Do you feel endangered walking outside of your house today that a white man is going to roll by with a fire hose and just blow you off of your porch?
Actually, yes, that crosses my mind.
Shakea.
Because there are now policies in certain red states where you have open carry. You can open carry, you can have your firearm on your hip. It doesn't have to even be concealed now. You have people who go into synagogues and churches who just open fire because of someone's preference of religion. Yes, there is a fear.
But that's not the gun's fault.
There is a fear.
That's someone that needs mental help. And this
Not even just mental
have
health,
the
but there
Second
is
Amendment.
policy that should be in place. We talked about this the other day. Don't act like you don't remember this.
But what about the Second Amendment?
I'm not saying to take that away completely. What I'm saying that legislation should be at the forefront. There should be a minimum age requirement. There should be background checks. There should be certain things. We have to do that for driver's license.
But we do that for guns. You can't.
You do not do that all the time for guns, Will.
If you go buy a gun right now, they literally have a holding period of time if you don't even have the proper documentation.
But
so you can't just roll out of there.
What's the weapon of choice that has killed a lot of children?
Well, what is the weapon of choice?
Guns.
Well, you said guns, right? Okay,
Will.
but let me just break it down to you. Where are the guns showing up? These are people, because there's no such thing as you guys as an illegal gun because it's your Second Amendment. But this is the question. Most of the communities, your black and brown communities that you speak of, is the ones that get these guns because they're in gangs.
But who gives us the guns, Will?
What do you mean who gives us the guns? Nobody tell people to go out there and go, are you going back to those ages?
We can do it.
Are we going back that time? We are in 2025.
We are, and yet we are still talking about racial division and various people having rights to access and those who can't have access to certain things.
But the racial,
Why is that?
Well, you know what? If you have,
am I not a human?
If you stop having our own culture, demonize people who don't line up all the time with their ideologies. That's where that is. Because if right now, if I go and post something that's contrary to what black and brown people want to believe, I'm called a coon.
You are.
Okay.
No, I'm saying you are being called a coon. Yes. Let me preface that. You are being called a coon because of your stance. Yes. Oh, Jesus. You go.
Okay. But what I'm trying to say is, do you think that that's right coming from the same people who want somebody to represent them, but it doesn't have to always agree with what you agree with?
No, I don't think it's right that you're being called a coon, nor do I care that you are a Republican. What I think I sometimes have with black Republicans is that they forget that they are not necessarily a minority. You are a minority in your party, but the bulk of your party does not consider you to be of value.
Well, Shakea, you and I have
You are a token.
We have to go. We have to take a quick commercial break before she say what she's about to say. We'll be right back discussing Trump versus Greene and who's the real MAGA, and then Charlie Kirk's death and legacy. Woo. Don't go anywhere. This is Americana. All right, you guys, welcome back to Americana. Now, let's have this conversation. It's Trump versus Greene, as I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene, former Trump ally, unfortunately. Marjorie Taylor Greene has publicly broken with Donald J. Trump, criticizing him over the Jeffrey Epstein files, Gaza policy, and U.S. support of Israel. The split signals a major fracture in the Republican base. So, here we are.
Here we are.
This is, but I would say this.
Do you feel how cold it is?
I do feel how cold it is.
Hell, it's frozen over.
But
Never.
No, what I believe has happened with this, and this is the thing, is that the Democrats had so often come and talked about the Epstein file. We talked about this already, but when we talk about Donald Trump, we talk Marjorie Taylor Greene, someone who had supported him for the last 6 years, and she made the announcement, and here we come back. This is what's alarming, because now it seems like people that are on the Democrat side, however, is pushing this same agenda, because they're also with AIPAC. And that's what is alarming to me, is to why people don't see that our country is also almost becoming like it's not America first. And I know a lot of Democrats don't like America first, but we need to be America first. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is standing up to that narrative, basically against also because Democrats vote to be able to have some of this funding, which we call U.S. aid, go over to these countries where we got babies over here that can't even have milk. You don't agree with that?
Are you finished?
I'm finished. Yes, I'm ready. I'm finished.
Usually the ignorant one talks the loudest and the longest, so I'm just letting you. Are you finished?
I'm finished.
Okay, very good. Well, first off, it's cold in here because hell has frozen over.
Okay.
Never would have I imagined that I would be agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. We are not in a place where America is first. We just saw that just yesterday or the day before yesterday, where we had the king of Saudi in the White House, and he actually gave the signal to kill an American Washington Post journalist, but yet he was paraded around in the White House. So that is not depicting America first. However, when it comes to Marjorie, I'm still on the fence about her and all of this anti-Trump stuff, right? Is it possible for her to have a change of heart? Absolutely. But is it because next year is a midterm election, like this change or this change of heart or this narrative from her? I don't know. I mean, consistency will show us in the months to come.
To be honest, she won her first election without Trump's endorsement. And even though it's a
But she got her claim to fame even more in the news headlines, in the community. And because of her, spar with Jasmine Crockett, my soror, hey girl, she became this MAGA person because of her ties to Trump.
Well, I mean, you can say the same with Jasmine Crockett. I mean, it's midterms, and now she's looking at going up to higher. It's like all of them do that. So I don't think.
I mean, isn't that the political ladder?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah and no. I think there are some people that are righteous in thought, whether we believe it or not, that actually want to do right. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to do right. And I also believe that in many ways, President Trump wants to do right.
You really believe that in your Noah, like in your inner man?
In my shana.
In your shana.
What I do believe is that there are people that can get into people's ear, and that happens on any side. And I believe that's what has happened to President Trump. He has people like Susan Wiles, who is absolutely ridiculous and horrible, which is his chief of staff. You have other people who are what we call woke right, and then you have people who are...
Don't use woke when you're talking about Republicans, because the true people who know what woke derived from understand the true meaning. Don't talk about woke. Don't talk about woke.
Woke right.
Don't talk about woke.
Individuals who you have that is far out there right, and I believe those. Then you have the far out there right. Then you have people who are establishment people, and those are the people that's getting to President Trump's ear that do not have the best interest for the American people.
Okay, so we talk about all the negative aspects of politicians and how they come on the scene, they campaign on a platform, they get in office, they change their narratives, and they don't turn out to be who we elected them to be, right? What politician, can you name at least one politician who has stood on business from day one and has not changed their course of narrative?
Abraham Lincoln.
Child, the man dead and gone.
Ronald
dust
Reagan.
to dust.
I would say this, that we do see changes in politicians. But that does not mean that they're not going forward with what they need to do. So we'll shift over to Charlie Kirk.
Oh.
So Charlie Kirk's death and legacy, you guys, he was assassinated by a leftist. Since Charlie's death, the world has erupted with polarizing views of his passing. Shakea, he was someone who should have been well respected, and the Democrats killed him.
Wow. That is a lie. You in this false narrative, like, as y'all say, fake news, fake news. No, but all honestly, given respect to Charlie, I don't condone the manner in which he died, okay?
But
no
you thought
jokes.
he should have died.
No. We all gonna meet him one day. We all gonna close our eyes. I don't condone the way in which he died. However, he was very polarizing and he was very divisive. You a man of God, man of faith. the Bible says you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Right.
Hold on.
Okay.
But his affiliation with that organization, it was called Team
Point.
Poussey. That's
What?
the team.
Yes, I know you said.
Okay.
I'm like, well, I've
Turning
never
Point.
heard of that. She just put a little
That's
French
how
on
they
everything.
say it, a little French on it, a little stank on it. However, they are already a polarizing organization. His ties with them, and let me just pause right there. Why do we think that he was a martyr?
Well, let's go back. First of all, I am the regional president for Turning Point USA Faith.
Ooh,
So I do not see that it is polarizing at all.
You are very polarizing.
And have been with it. But when you look at the way that he died and for the cause, that's what a martyr would be.
What cause, Will?
Because he
was a podcaster.
He wasn't just a podcaster. He actually spoke about faith and leading in civic engagement. He told people to go out there, get married, stay married, have kids, and went out there. He was establishing and reestablishing biblical principles that people often got away from. And those people that, when he showed up to those liberal ran schools, that's the reason why they wanted him dead, because he was revoking their ability
Will, he wasn't on a HBCU campus when he died. He was at a PWI, predominantly white institution.
And then continued.
2 seconds before he was shot in his neck, before hundreds of people. What did he say, Will?
Well, you tell me.
No. This your brother in the faith.
I actually don't know what he said, but I will tell you this much. We have an issue when people, because of who it comes from, even when it comes from me, but we do need to hold accountable our black community. And I think that when...
In what way? But why is it just the black community that needs to be held accountable? It's these white folks, too, who's sitting in power.
Let them hold that. But, as black people, when I said this before, we had Black Wall Streets, we were thriving. And
we
here
were.
we are.
And who burnt it down?
Now, the white Democrat.
Who burnt it down?
The white Democrat. Look up your history. A white Democrat.
Not even just the party affiliation. White folks. Let's take that out of the equation.
No, if you take that out of the equation, you miss the point. Because
not missing the point.
Because look what LBJ said.
You preached this before.
But what did LBJ say?
You tell me. I don't follow that man.
Well, he did. I hope you ain't following him.
I don't care about that.
But he said this. He said that he will have niggas voting for Democrats.
You cannot say that word on TV.
Well, it's my First Amendment.
Mercy.
But I would say that this is the reason why we're where we are, because he made it so that in black communities, the father wasn't in the home, the mother was sitting there with a bunch of babies living off of welfare.
Okay, so
in our community.
I hear you, Will, but that is not the true depiction of the black family.
It's not.
That is not the only depiction of black families. You have mostly white people who are on welfare right now. Mostly white people was in the lines just 2 weeks ago asking for food.
That may be the case.
They were crying also on social media asking for government assistance.
Who are the people that you see that's the loudest and in front of all of this? So if that's the case and we don't represent that, then we need to represent something that has changed. Where is the change? Is that not what Yes We Can from Obama? Where is the change in this new black America that we're in?
It starts with people like you and I who are able to use a platform like this to call out the disparities, but also bring a sense of solution. You, my friend, you only call out the disparities and you uplift this white narrative, which is why you are continuously called a coon. That is the definition.
I have provided solutions, and the black people don't want the solutions because it holds them accountable.
It could possibly hold them accountable, but it does not do the same for your white folks that you are uplifting.
I'm talking about black people because I'm black,
about it,
and that's the problem. When we talk about solution for black people, it's always where we want to say, well, what the white man doing? That's our problem. We worried about the white man. Focus on what we need to do for our communities and thrive from there.
Well, right now the white man is controlling the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Well, that's our fault. That's our fault. We don't have enough strong black people.
Y'all come back tomorrow.
Anyway, that's all for today. I'm your host, Willie Montague.
And I'm Shakea.
I'm grateful you spent some time. We definitely was trying to dig in some truth. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on Afro TV. Until then, stay firm. Think for yourself and never trade truth for comfort. Y'all have a great night, and y'all just research some things.
Stay black.